Welcome back to the lesson. In our last video, we discussed how to store our subject information inside of our database, and I hope everything is clear to you. And in this video, we're going to be creating our manage subject menu down below our create subject right here. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's go back to our source code, and now let's find our sidebar. Okay, let's close our file explorer to get more room to work. Okay, now let's go ahead and copy this menu, copy this, come down below here and paste, and then we're going to go ahead and say manage subject like so. Okay, and now let's go ahead and create our route. Let's go ahead and give it the name manage subjects. Now let's go ahead and create our manage subject route inside of our web.php file. Okay, like so. Let's go ahead and copy this, copy, paste this right below here, and let's go ahead and copy our name, our manage subject route name, like so. Copy this. Let's get back to our web.php file, update our name right here. Okay, manage subject. Let's go ahead and update our URL, copy, say manage, copy this as well, subjects like so, and then we're going to go ahead and change our method name to manage subjects like so. Okay, and now let's go ahead and create our method name, copy this inside of our subject controller. Okay, now let's come down here and say public function like so, paste our name, and then let's say end method, copy this. Okay, now first of all, let's go ahead and get our subjects, since we're going to be passing them inside our view, our manage subject view. So let's go ahead and get them from our database and store them inside a variable called subjects like so. And then let's go ahead and say subject to call our subject model like so, and say all. We are fetching everything, all of our subject inside of our database right here. We're going to be getting everything and passing it to our manage subject view that we haven't created yet, and we're going to go ahead and create that now. So let's go ahead and say return view like so, and then inside of our backend folder we basically have another directory called subject. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look. Okay, inside backend we have class. Let's go ahead and close that one, and we have a subject directory. So let's go ahead and say inside backend we have another directory called subject, and inside subject we're going to go ahead and create our manage underscore subject underscore view like so, and then we're going to go ahead and pass our subjects using the compact method, compact like so, and then let's go ahead and copy our subject variable name, copy this, and let's go ahead and pass it right inside of here, paste like so. And now let's go ahead and create our view, our manage subject view, copy this, let's head inside our subject directory, let's say new file, paste this right here, and then say .blade.php, and then hit enter. Okay, now we have our manage subject view, and of course our manage subject view is going to look just like our manage classes view, which is right here. Okay, our manage classes view. So let's go ahead and copy this and then modify it to our manage subject view. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's get back to our code. Let's go ahead and locate our manage classes view, which is going to be inside class directory, manage classes view. Yes, this view. Okay, now let's go ahead and close this window. Okay, let's go ahead and say view, word wrap. All right, let's go ahead and copy everything, copy. And now let's get back to our manage subject views and paste this. Okay, all right, now let's go ahead and get rid of the overflow right here. So let's go ahead and say view, word wrap. Okay, something like this. Now let's go ahead and start with the title. Okay, our title should be manage subjects. So let's go ahead and change that, manage subjects like so, and here should be manage subjects like so. Okay, we're done with our title. Now here should be view subject info. So let's go ahead and say subjects info like so. Okay, And our table heading here should be subject name. So let's go ahead and say subject, like so, subject name. And the second heading should be subject code. So subject code, like so. And then we of course should be having our creation date. And then I'm going to go ahead and add another column called updated date. So let's go ahead and say updated date. Okay, something like this. And now we're going to be changing this our variable because we are not passing classes. This time around we pass subject. So here's our subject, the variable that we passed. So let's go ahead and copy that, copy this. Let's get back to our manage subject view, and then let's go ahead and replace this with our subject variable, subject as key, and then we're going to go ahead and call this subject. Okay, something like this. And then we're going to go ahead and update our code, copy. Here we're going to replace this with subject, and then this time around we're not calling class name. This time around inside of our subject table we are targeting our subject name and subject code, and also our created ad and updated ad. So let's go ahead and do that. Now let's go ahead and start with our subject name. So we're going to be targeting our subject name, like so, name. And then for our second column is going to be subject code. Okay, so let's go ahead and copy this, copy, and then replace this here. Okay, this time around we're going to be targeting our subject code. Okay, so let's go ahead and say subject code, like so. And then our third column is our creation date. Okay, our creation date is created at. All we need to change is this, copy this and paste this, like so. We're saying subject created at. Okay, our creation date, and our updated date should be, let's go ahead and copy this, copy, and let's go ahead and paste this down below here. And then now instead of targeting our created art, we're going to be targeting our updated art column. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and say updated art. Okay, this very column, updated art. Okay, so now let's go ahead and save our file. Oh, actually, before saving our file, we need to of course change this as well. Let's go ahead and say subject ID and subject ID as well here instead of class ID. All right, I think everything now is cool. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look. Okay, everything is fine here. We have our subject and we pass it to our view. All right, now inside of our web.php file. Okay, oh yes, we need to change this our route method to get. Okay, all right, okay, everything is fine, I think. Okay, now let's go ahead and save our file, save all. Okay, let's go ahead and run our php artisan optimize command. Let's go ahead and say php artisan optimize command. Okay, now everything is good, so let's go ahead and take a look. Now let's refresh our application. Okay, now if you go ahead and expand our subject menu, you're going to find another sub menu called manage subject. So let's go ahead and click on that and take a look. Okay, yes, as you can see, now we have our manage subject view right here. We have all of our subjects that are being stored inside of our database, which is English and mathematics. We have our subject code and also created at and updated at, which is right here. As you can see, we have our subject codes, we have creation date, we have our updated date. So that's very cool, and we also have our icons right here. All right, so friend, that will be it for this video, and in our next video we're going to work on the edit subject functionality right here. So hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one.